Hey, welcome everybody. It is 4 o'clock, so I will call our Finance and Facilities meeting to order. Welcome. As you can see, solo seating, but I feel like I'm still part of the circle here. We're in good shape. Jessica was on double duty tonight, so she had a professional conflict and couldn't make it. And I believe we have a fellow administrator who flu bug got him. So, but we will carry on. So welcome to everyone. We are going to focus our meeting today really on, since we spent a lot of time last meeting, really digging into more of the budget-related issues around property tax in particular. We were going to spend more time today just looking at bond kind of capital outlay issues. So before I turn it over to Dr. Stubblefield, I did want to mention that we have started a draft kind of document on our conversation from last meeting. And so that will get a little bit more work internally, and then at an upcoming meeting, we'll bring it back to you all for feedback and kind of move forward from there. Okay. Do we need to do introductions again? I feel like we're okay without doing introductions, yes? Okay, all right. Dr. Stubblefield.
All right, well, good afternoon and welcome everybody. As Dr. Sinclair mentioned, Mr. Tyler Clubb cannot be here with us. He is our Director of Facilities, and this was going to be his time to shine. He did ask me to mention that if we could change the PowerPoint to facilities and finance for this meeting. I politely declined, but I did tell him that I was going to make sure that he wanted me to tell Mr. Knapp to kick up your feet, just relax this meeting, and let the facility shine in this meeting today. All right, so no nap time today. All right. Again, thank you for joining us today. Just want to start by expressing, my sincere gratitude to our outstanding staff, whose dedication and hard work, are really the backbone of our success when we're talking about facilities. Every day they go above and beyond and create and maintain an environment that supports world-class learning opportunities for our students. From our finance experts, nod to you, Russ, ensuring that resources are used wisely to our facilities teams, keeping our buildings safe, clean, and certainly welcoming to our students and staff. We certainly couldn't do this work without you. I would be remiss if I did not recognize the work and efforts of our school board members, both past and present, especially when it comes to our bond referendum efforts. And again, just working to educate our communities on the strong connection between state-of-the-art facilities and high academic achievement for our students. Lastly, and this is for Dr. Schumacher and myself, we need to give a nod to our predecessors, Dr. Michelle Hubbard and Dr. Joe Gilhouse, for really setting a really high bar in terms of their leadership with a student-centered focus when it comes to finance and facilities. And again, they've set a standard that we certainly are honored to carry forward. All right, so your commitment not only enables our students to thrive, but also strengthens our community as a whole. Thank you all for what you all do and for being here today as we continue working together to make our district the best it can be. So with that, I think we're going to jump into our slide deck and start with a few of our bond updates. So we'll go ahead and get started with Tomahawk Elementary School. First, with this, we've all seen this projected timeline. With this timeline, we always kind of indicate in that with that red line where we are in regard to our progress. So this shows that we are in the month of November for fall of 2024, and shows kind of what we have left after that and all of the work that went into, to this timeline previously. So we've really done just a fantastic job of making sure that our projects are timely, our budgets are sound, and we're being as efficient as possible. And again, we have ongoing communication with our vendors, with our architects, with our construction companies to ensure that we keep a really tight timeline and these projects get completed. All right, so I don't know, I really liked Rushton's building. Tomahawk is going to be right there. It is just a fabulous building that's coming in on time with our architects and builders. So the new Tomahawk Elementary is being designed by DLR Architects, along with J.E. Dunn handling the construction side of things. This facility will be approximately 79,000 square feet, creating ample space to accommodate our growing community and providing a modern learning environment for those students and staff. If you guys remember, Tomahawk those students are currently relocated. So they're at Indian Creek right now. And so during the construction phase, and they will open back into the new Tomahawk in August of 2025. So beginning of next school year, they will be ready to enter that new facility. I don't know if you can see that, that tree there. That tree is actually an elevator. So on the other side of that is how you get up and down the floors. And so the DLR did a great job of making that a really cool feature for that building. And it is massive. You can't see it in this right here, but that thing is gigantic. And it took a lot of back and forth with the city of Overland Park to finally get that thing approved. So we're excited about that.
To get the elevator approved? Or
To get the structure around the elevator, yeah, around the tree approved. So again, just some more progress, and J.E. Dunn actually provided us with a drone flyover of the progress. So we'll go ahead and let you take a look at where we are with Tomahawk. Yeah.
We were just digging up.
I know,
right?
we were just dedicating it, yeah. If you can see that the whole front area is kind of unique because that is one of the very few buildings that's going to have the playground in the front.
Is there only going to be one for the playground, or there's different, because usually they have a couple?
Yeah, they usually have a couple, so they'll both be out front. Yeah. There's a really large, there's a lot of glass work there, so that cafeteria space where students will sit and eat lunch will look right out into the playground area.
Do they have multiple playgrounds due to the age groups of the type of playground, or is it the timing of it?
Usually it's
So you can have a first grade and a sixth grader at the same time?
it's both. It's to get as many kids out on the playground as possible, and then also age appropriate equipment. Yeah, this is going to be a really nice building, and DLR and Dunn have done an outstanding job in communicating with the school district.
Brian, not the same building you were in?
No, I was just thinking about that. Yeah, it's going to be quite a treat for those families and the community members. Yeah.
Yeah, it really is.
It's really remarkable.
This might not be a fair question to ask, but is the LEED certification process in our elementary buildings gotten any more routine? Might be more of a.
Yes.
question.
No, the more we have built these elementaries in our schools, the more efficient and, really not being surprised at how to get the lead. So, yeah, that's been more efficient for us. Don't forget that we did a boundary change a couple years ago, so we will welcome some Briarwood families into the new Tomahawk building at the beginning of the new school year. All right. Our next project is at Shawnee Mission West. So the design, Insight Design Studio is the architect for this, and Newkirk and Novak are the builders for this project. This is an addition on the north side of the building, creating a 4,350 square foot facility dedicated to weights and athletic training. It's going to have an expanded fitness and wrestling facility. Plans include merging the new fitness and weights area with the existing wrestling room, optimizing the space for student athletes. There's a repurposed space, so the current weight room will be remodeled and into a dedicated wrestling room. So that wrestling room is actually going to be ready for competition this winter.
Whatever the size is, the wrestling room needs to be bigger.
What was that?
The wrestling room needs to be bigger, no matter how big the size.
Yeah. Also a part of this was restroom renovation, so they have some new restrooms in that facility as well. So that is going to be a good looking structure. If you've ever driven down Antioch and kind of looked to see the progress that's being made there, that is really going to look good for that West community. Excited about that.
Do other sports use like the wrestling room when it's off-season?
Yeah, they'll have lots of other teams go in and use it. Like I know cheerleaders come practice in there sometimes. Just kind of depends, but yeah.
Track and cheer usually use it.
Yeah, it's usually track and cheer.
So they'll get warm up, or if it's rainy, they'll do some workouts there, and then other times, outside of wrestling times, they do go to track and do all the time sometimes, but powerlifting or whatever, do their workouts regularly across country. They're off season. They come in and do their workouts.
Yeah, so if you look at it, that bottom location, that's where the weight room, and there's going to be an extended track area with turf down for warm up, for you can do some sprints in that area. The top area is where is going to be the fitness area, where they'll have some treadmills and some exercise bikes and those kinds of things.
Interrupt for just 1 second. Remind you guys to turn on your microphone since it's live streamed.
Oh.
They may not be picking up the voices. Just realized we weren't using it.
All right, next facility. Some progress in there. There you go. Next slide. All right, Indian Hills Middle School. All right, so the architect and builder for Indian Hills, new addition is Hollison Miller as the architect and J.E. Dunn as the construction company. This is going to be a new classroom space. It's a large classroom addition. It's going to be approximately 1,600 square feet, and that's on the south side of the building. And it's going to support, different academic needs. They can have large group meetings in there. There's also going to be an opportunity for some smaller classrooms, private areas. You can have small groups or small sessions of students in those areas. Those are going to be some breakout rooms in that new addition. Again, it's just going to be a flexible learning space, and I think I know, talking to the principal over there, that she's already got plans for kind of faculty meetings and community events taking place in that new space. So there's going to be just a lot of glass and pretty open area. And some new furniture. And they're also getting some restroom enhancements, updated restroom facilities. We're also part of that addition. That actually is gonna be ready second semester of this year. So they're moving along pretty good. All right. where are we at? So with all of our playgrounds are in, we completed all of our new inclusive playgrounds. So every single one of our elementaries has an inclusive playground now. So very happy with that, and those were the last ones that were completed.
What's the lifespan? Is there a lifespan of a playground, 15 years? Again, I'm sorry, I'm throwing you with hard questions.
Yeah. Tyler was hit. I wouldn't
Yeah,
say
that's a
this.
Tyler question.
Yeah, and I
Yeah,
hope he's
I'm
not
trying to
listening,
think.
but he would probably know that.
Yeah,
But no, good question. We can definitely
that's
find
all
that
right.
out.
I was kind of,
Dr. Stubblefield, do you want to talk about how this originated, like what school and
Oh, yeah.
who? Yeah.
Yeah, no, thanks for the space. Again, we had a student, her name was Olivia Bloomfield, who was wheelchair bound, and she just was such an advocate prior to any inclusive playgrounds being in Shawnee Mission of having the conversation. She worked with Variety KC, she worked with the school district, and really started the ball rolling on every one of our schools in Shawnee Mission being inclusive for all students of all abilities. And the work that she did and put it into that just was incredible. Unfortunately, she passed away, but her memory is gonna live a very long time in Shawnee Mission School District because of her intentionality, her empathy, and just the way she led as a fourth grader, I believe, at Corinth Elementary to really provide us with, just this amazing opportunity for all of our kids. Thanks, appreciate that. All right, so those were all bond projects that we are wrapping up. We wanted to provide an opportunity to really kind of get this committee caught up on some of the things that we're discussing or thinking about in terms of capital work that we're going to be doing. Some of these things have already been approved, and then we'll also have some projected projects that we want to have conversation with this group about as well. So first of all, we got some athletic field upgrades. So if you see that, on the left is the 3-2 baseball complex, which is out in Lenexa. These are the competition baseball fields for Shawnee Mission. So we are partnering with 3-2, and we are turfing 3 of our fields out there. Fields 1, Fields 2, and Fields 7 are going to be have new infield turf installed. And again, the majority of Johnson County is moving towards turfing baseball fields, so we definitely want to make sure that we're providing our students that opportunity as well. So those plans are underway for those significant field enhancements. So if you look on the right side of that, that's the softball complex, and that is out at our district softball complex off of, what is that, 63rd and Mauer?
No.
Alpha Mauer. We currently have one of those fields is already turfed, and that's field 1. And again, we felt like as we were doing these baseball complexes and upgrades, we wanted to make sure that there was equity, especially that gender equity piece involved, and also upgrade our softball complex. And so we'll be turfing 3 of those fields out there. So all of our softball fields out at Mauer will be completely turfed.
Is it about playability, weather?
Yeah.
Why do we turf?
Great question. So these upgrades provide safer, more durable playing surfaces that can be used year-round, reducing maintenance costs, obviously, with the mowing and the watering, and just offering better playing conditions for our students and community. And again, this leads to less games being postponed or canceled, and so that they're really going to be playable throughout the entire season.
I had a question. Yeah, because I know last year, I know some baseball parents that were upset because things were held off or delayed because
Yeah.
we had so much rain. It was crazy, they said. But was there a movement or something of parents that I thought were fundraising as well to help turf, or they were re-turfing or doing something over there at the baseball fields? I thought someone had said that they were doing that.
At 3 and 2?
One of the fields or two of the fields, I thought, or something. I was like,
Yeah.
oh.
So
Yeah.
at 3 and 2, we're
Yeah,
turfing
we're-
3 fields,
I-
3 infields.
I think, to clarify, I think is the source of funding to do
Not-
this, the capital outlay
Capital-
budget?
Yeah, not parent.
Okay, because I thought there was like
No.
some talks of, so I was kind of
No.
like.
So it's
Yeah.
part of the 8 mills levied
Right.
Yes.
for capital outlay,
capital.
the,
Okay.
yeah.
That's later on in my slide, Russ.
No, I mean out at the 3-2 complex. I was just going to mention that if you go by 3 and 2, you'll see the remaining fields also being turf. That is not us. That is 3 and 2's partnership with the city of Lenexa. City of Lenexa had some grant money to provide them to do the remaining fields. So those are going to be, you're going to see those field turf as well, but that's not Shawnee Mission School District.
Yeah, I will say as a soccer parent we probably have had one postponement in, I don't know, how many years versus
Yes.
regularly. So, but have you done I assume somebody's done the cost analysis too, besides the playability too? Does it come out quite a bit ahead, or is it just, like, because I know all the football fields are turf, and I'm sure,
Yeah, those.
maybe
yeah.
you don't know it, but I'm sure somebody
Yeah,
has,
yeah,
right?
We
But-
I don't have that exact number in front of me, but that's part of the conversation whenever you're turfing a field is, again, that cost savings.
Yeah.
All right. All right, so we do have some roofing upgrades that we're going to do with some current capital dollars. Shawnee Mission North will have that clay tile area that's currently in progress. We have upcoming roofing bids. We're preparing to bid out additional roofing projects this month for several sites, including McCullough, Horizons, Indian Hills, Overland Park, Shawnee Mission East, and Shawnee Mission South. Again, this is just that commitment to longevity. These updates will ensure that our facilities are protected from weather and wear, extending, just the lifespan of our buildings and minimizing future maintenance needs. Asphalt and concrete improvements. So we have mill and overlay projects. We are currently assessing all parking lots across the district. This is Jessica's favorite topic, by the way, in case you guys don't know this. Whenever I talk to her, she asked me about the asphalt in the district.
Asphalt.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so I get excited talking about that with her. So these projects will be bid out in the upcoming months. Again, enhanced safety and accessibility. These upgrades will not only improve the safety and functionality of our lots, but also enhance accessibility for students, staff, and visitors. So those are the things that we currently have in place with capital dollars. This next slide begins what we're thinking about for future capital projects, and wanted to make sure that you had that you're made aware of these things that we're planning to do for future projects. So the first one is elementary furniture cycle, phase 1. We're beginning phase 1 of the elementary furniture replacement cycle to ensure students have comfortable, modern and adaptable furniture that supports effective learning. Our leadership and learning team, along with our facilities folks, kind of developed a cycle for that furniture replacement. And so we're going to start upgrading those schools soon.
Do all our schools have the flex chair, like the flex seating, or are there some schools that we're still trying to get upgrades in?
There are still schools that we're upgrading, that we need to upgrade.
Okay. So would that be like Blue Jacket, or they need replacement?
I don't know what their exact needs are, but they
Okay.
went through they kind of did a needs assessment and, again, put them on a cycle based on when their last furniture refresh was.
Okay.
Is there magic with 4, or is it, on the list there's 4, is it future years it could be 6 or 7 schools, or is it
Yeah,
kind of 4 a
yeah,
year going? Is that what
I think
phase 1
we're-
means?
Yeah, I think phase 1 are those schools right there.
Right.
And so I think we'll try to do 4 schools every phase. I think we're in pretty good shape right now because all of our
New
new
ones.
builds, right, already have that, flexible seating and furniture. And we're just trying to go back and address schools that it's been a while. So those are taking, precedent.
Well, I've served on this now a number of years, probably since it was created. Tyler's really good at sharing the cyclical nature of a lot of the capital outlay projects. So the roofing, the asphalt, this kind of thing gets assessed and put on a timeline so it cycles through, and I would expect furniture, flooring, all of these categories. Windowsills sound like something that may be just needed. Who knows? But this stuff is that routine maintenance, and if you do it if you replace a roof every 15 years, you extend the life of the roof overall, right? So I think that feels like we're in phase 3 of this bond.
This is phase 5.
Of the bond, like the first set, the buildings that are being built with the bond, right?
Yes.
So we've had a lot of buildings that have gotten all this stuff refreshed, but there exists a based on needs assessment done, a life cycle for all of these things, right? Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I remember at Tomahawk, they would say, okay, in 2018, you're going to get paint, in 2019 or 2020, you're going to get floor. It's on a big calendar somewhere in Tyler's
Yes, he does.
massive brain.
Well, we're getting to the needs assessment here. Few slides, right?
Yeah, we'll get there. All right, next slide. All right, so we are getting ready to, LED lighting package, right now, that is being bid on right now. So that's going to be a district-wide LED lighting package. This project just aims to increase energy efficiency, reduce those long-term costs, create brighter, more inviting spaces throughout our facilities. I'm not sure when it closes, but it's pretty close to ending, and we'll go ahead and select the company to make those installations and improvements. Catherine Carpenter demo. This has been a hot topic lately. Our friends in that neighborhood, I think it's called Westwood Park, have reached out. I know the mayor has reached out to Dr. Schumacher, just kind of asking about what's going on with this building. It's been abandoned for several years. It's kind of an eyesore, broken windows. We've got it boarded up. And so we are making the decision to go ahead and knock it down. So we've hired an engineering firm, an architect firm to start providing us with just what that process is going to look like. I myself am and Tyler are going to go and work with that neighborhood association and kind of talk to them about what the plans are, what that's going to look like as well. Again, we have no idea of how we're going to repurpose it yet. But we have plans. Like, we're going to have conversations about what we're going to replace the old Catherine Carpenter building with. Dr. Schumacher?
Yeah, so right now we have, we're researching what it would take to demolish it.
Yep.
I have a hard time with that word for some reason, demolish it. And that will come to the Board of Education for their consideration at a upcoming board meeting. And yeah, I mean, we've got a few different properties out there. There's Carpenter, there's Mauer. We use Indian Creek, of course. We use Broadmoor. But we have some needs across the district as well. So we're having discussions about what the best use of those properties are. But in the interim, this will be a beautiful green space for that community. Whatever we do with it, it will be a usable space while we make a final decision, so.
A little pocket park for the intro.
So does that make it harder when you
I
want to
know.
build something back
It's a
on
big,
it?
it's a big property.
No, it
No,
doesn't make
it's-
it hard.
okay, I'm
It
sorry.
actually kind of makes it easier because we don't know what it's going to be yet, right? And so
Sure.
you take, you go and you do all the site work and you go in and oversee it as just a green space, and now the sky's the limit. Like you can put whatever on there now instead of keeping the footings where they are and keeping certain structures in place. Now you can just kind of reimagine what that area can be.
Did you mean the neighborhood wanting it to stay a park?
I did,
Stay
yeah.
apart.
Something else.
Okay, that's okay. All right, I'm a little.
That's true. That could happen.
Slow, thanks for.
I mean, I would think if whatever is cited on there as the new facility,
Yeah.
incorporating green space and,
Yeah,
some,
we'll-
that might go a long way.
Yeah, so that's a great point. I think our conversations with those folks will go a long way.
Yeah.
I think involving them, in that process. We've heard that they want a school structure there, so we'll have those conversations.
Is selling it even under consideration even before even spending the money of demolition?
David, do you realize that
I don't know.
we don't have very much just land in Shawnee,
Okay.
right?
Yeah, I do
I
realize
think,
that, yeah.
I think what we're,
Okay.
I don't think.
But to your question, I mean, there's people who want it,
Yeah.
for sure.
Yes, they do.
Yeah, I mean, they're,
No, I'm going through the same process on a library board of,
Right.
what do you do?
Sure.
Do you sell? Do you repurpose? Do you
Yeah.
demolish? Do you move somewhere else and let somebody else deal with it and buy something else? I don't know. I just curious on what, you're saying that you think you could repurpose it for something else? I
yeah,
mean,
we'll leave all options on the table, but the decision to take it down right now was a couple different factors. One, we said we were going to in the first bond, and so it's the follow-through of that. And two, that community's been waiting for that for
Right.
quite a
Well,
while.
that's fine.
And it truly is. Eyesores may be strong, but it doesn't look great.
Well, I mean, also could probably sell it. I mean, I'm not even suggesting that you sell it. I'm just, I don't know. I mean, because just rebuilding or redoing it is just
And that's the
zero
purpose for
options.
Dr. Stubblefield, to go and talk with those community members and make sure that their voices are heard, because I know they have strong feelings about what should be there and what shouldn't be there, and we want to listen to our constituents for sure.
But essentially, if I understand it correctly, the building needs to come down. We said we were going to take it down, but we don't necessarily have a specific purpose for that land at the point in time.
Yeah.
But we also don't have a lot of land, so we'd be cautious to sell it outright if.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think that's a good summary.
Okay.
Yeah, that's fine. I just
Good question.
was curious
Yeah, yeah,
on what was
yeah.
going through the thinking on.
Yeah, we, again, Dr. Schumacher mentioned it earlier, we've got some land and we've got some buildings that people are very interested in.
Am I correct that the bond refurbished I think the Broadmoor building as an early childhood center?
Mm-hmm.
And that work is complete?
It was some bond and some capital, Russ? Or,
It was majority of it was all bond.
okay.
And there was a lot of casework in the restrooms.
Bringing
Yeah,
them down
and
to.
little people
yeah.
furniture and things like
Yes,
that.
yeah.
Is that space providing sufficient space for the early childhood needs of this district?
I think sufficient would probably be a good word.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's
Adequate.
perfect.
State of the art, I would not call it state of the art for an early childhood center.
Got a nice piece of land there.
Melissa, thank you for that wonderful suggestion. Yeah, we're considering all options, and certainly that would be one of them.
Because that's what used to be there, right? That was the
Yes.
early childhood center
Yes,
there. So,
yes,
yeah. So
yeah.
the district doesn't have a purposefully built
Yes.
early childhood building like you're doing all the other schools with the bonds and things like that.
That's correct.
Yes.
Thank you.
You're hat switching.
All right. The next thing for consideration are HVAC controls district-wide. So these are web-based controls. First of all, I'm glad Tyler's not here because he would talk for an hour about this. Because he said.
His ears are burning.
He really believes that, I think he's working on a platform that's using 1998 software. So this upgrade, the district will implement a web-based HVAC control system across all facilities. That's enhancing our ability to manage and monitor climate control in real time. It's more efficient. It's accurate. It's,
Is that
user-friendly. This is a web platform for our director of facilities to use to kind of monitor the whole district of what's going on, temperatures, air intake, all of the things, right? And so he is working on just an outdated platform.
All right, so giving our team the tools to do
Tools.
that.
You bet.
Is there an age of building that it just won't interact with? So some of our older buildings, I think Belinda's now at 70, right? It's our oldest one, maybe, something like that, 70-year-old.
No,
Do you know if it's limited to
No,
age
they
of
would-
building?
No, they would, once the new HVAC controls go in place, all of those things can be retrofitted and communicate back to that web platform. This is a 3-year completion plan. The project is structured as a 3-year phase plan that would ensure a smooth transition to a more efficient and user-friendly system across our entire district. HVAC upgrades, so phase 5 would be just our service provider is Train Technologies. So back when the original bond was in place, Train won the bid for 5 years. So that's what we're talking about. So phase 5 is basically year 5. And so we would have them provide these upgrades to the equipment. Schools included in phase 5 would be Shawnee Mission Northwest, Shawnee Mission North, Shawnee Mission West, as well as Ray Marsh, Marion Park, Corinth, and Broken Arrow Elementaries. And I'm sure if you talk to any one of those principals, they would certainly welcome HVAC upgrades to their schools. Again, this is part of long-term infrastructure investment. This phase is part of our ongoing HVAC improvement plan to replace aging systems with more reliable, energy-efficient units that really is going to ensure consistent air quality and comfort across our district facilities.
Now, do we have much in the warranties? Is it a very limited warranty? We kind of I know that happens a lot with big organizations like this. Is that the way it works?
We have our own folks that go and work on those units. Unless there's a really large problem, then we certainly contract with Train and others to come in and work on those units. All right. So again, with future capital projects, and this is what Mr. Knapp was rushing me on earlier, but I told him that I had a slide for it, and this is to upgrade all of our high school practice baseball turf fields. So we would do the infields on all of our fields. I think we would have 4. I think East already has an infield turf, so we would turf the other 4 high schools. Currently, we have South slated to get started. The South field is, so again, that needs assessment where you're kind of rating which fields need to go first in order. South was rated as one of those. So was North, but North does not have the parking space to do that project during the school year, as what South does. So we'll take care of South, and then we'll take care of the other 3 during the summer. All right. So those were, any questions on capital projects? Okay, all right. I did a great job of explaining them. Appreciate that.
Fantastic, thank you.
All right, Tyler's gonna be proud of me.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, just one, I think this goes without saying, but of course, these are administrative ideas, plans. All of these would have to go to the Board of Education for approval, and some of these you'll be seeing
Soon.
very, very soon. So,
Good point. All right, so our school district is looking to partner with a safety solutions company. That company is called Centegix, and Centegix is a company that offers crisis alert badges for every staff member to be able to call an emergency. That would allow any staff member a wearable badge with the push of a button to be able to call first responders in the building. So let's say there's a medical emergency that's in the school, and that teacher needs the nurse. That teacher presses the button 3 times. It alerts the nurse and others in the building that there is a emergency that they need to respond to, and it gives them the location of that teacher in the building. And so again, think about, time, how much time is important in terms of responding to these incidents. So that is part of Centegix and what they offer. Let's say there is a situation where there is, you need to lock down the building, right? There may be, a school shooter, right? Any person in that building is able to alert law enforcement and first responders outside of the building in that municipality by pressing that badge 8 times. So 3 times internal, it's a lot, but they do get a lot of, you're in an emergency situation, people start pressing that thing pretty quickly.
Oh, I think it's brilliant,
Yeah.
so.
So, again, we are looking to, I don't want to get ahead of the presentation that's going to come on Monday's board meeting, but we are looking to bring this forward for consideration Monday evening so that we can move forward with this enhanced safety and security system.
And I may be jumping ahead with this question, but what is the fail-safe if the right number of clicks isn't achieved?
the presentations I've seen from them, their direction, the company would provide training to our staff. And the training that they provide is if it's if it's a lockdown situation, just keep pressing it.
Yeah.
It's not,
Get past it.
if you go above 8.
If it's 100 pressings, it doesn't
Yeah,
cancel
well,
anything.
but I'm thinking somewhere in a different gray area where you get 2 clicks and can't click in that third time or beyond, right? Like,
Yeah.
that's what I'm thinking.
There's a notification on the badge, like when you hit the 3 times, I believe it buzzes so that you know that you've
Someone's
activated
going to
it.
respond if any clicks start happening, is my assumption.
It's just 3 or 8.
It's 3, no.
3 or 8 or more.
Yeah.
I hope when you receive this presentation, there's some.
So I
Thought.
believe, it's a good question. So I believe Monday at the board meeting presentations, there are other districts in the area who are
Yes.
using it. And so we might have
Yeah.
more information that would be, so I think part of the issue here. It's a good question and it'll
There's
probably would come up Monday, but I think there's been use of this.
There's got to be a
Yeah.
system in place that speaks to that.
Yeah, well, I think what they try to do is avoid the accidental one press right, and then have a response. So I think they according to their research and the thousands of school districts that they've implemented this in, kind of that 3 for that internal response has kind of been that magic number for them.
Well, I would also probably think too, if something's happening, more than one person's going to have the badge. So there's going to be quite a few other people
Sure.
that have this.
Alerting.
Alerting.
Yeah.
So I can see that too, and just me, because I know me, having a badge, having that number, and I don't know how other people are that carry handbags, but throwing a badge in there and moving your purse or something, you know, those,
Yeah.
those kind of things too, but if there's gonna be more than one, if everyone's gonna have that, that's, to me, is gonna be a huge thing, because it's one thing if one person only did it, but if you're having 10 teachers and a principal and office staff and
Sure.
everybody else is clicking this, then I'm sure that's gonna be a huge, like, okay, yes, there is really something going on here.
For sure.
Yeah, and again, I don't want to get ahead of the presentation, but every staff member in the district will have that certified and classified.
Well, I know I don't have a vote, but I would vote yes on this. It sounds like a great idea.
Yeah,
I think I know, because right now it's, you get on a walkie-talkie, some do, and I mean, that just,
Yeah.
it's emergency.
We, of course, thoroughly researched this. There's many companies, there's many vendors who provide a similar service.
Yeah.
We, of course, feel strongly about our recommendation. We'll, again, in our presentation, give the why. We have layers of support to protect our staff and students in Shawnee Mission, but we'll explain, again, on Monday, the why we think this is a needed added layer of support.
I can carry the fidelity question forward too again on Monday night.
Yeah. Yep. I think the other good part of this is, again, once you press it once, it starts to communicate with GPS to know exactly where your location is, no matter where you are in the district. So if I'm a teacher at Corinth Elementary and I'm at a high school football game at Shawnee Mission North, it will know that I'm there.
Oh, okay.
So again, very excited about bringing that forward. All right, so in terms of the next agenda item is just kind of talking about Strategy 6, action team, facilities that we went through. I was part of that, some other people were, in terms of, coming up with our statement of we will strategically focus resources to support state-of-the-art facilities to accomplish our beliefs, missions, and objectives. There was an update at our last board meeting on Strategy 6 and kind of where we were. If you want to click the next, is that, yeah. So if you look in, I don't know if you can see this, but 6.2.1, 6.2.3, and 6.2.4 were in progress starting this first quarter. So those are all items that we have been discussing and working with. Again, we not only are partner with all the folks in on the facilities team, but we often, we've had several meetings with our friends in finance in terms of, supporting these projects and what we can do with the amount of dollars that we currently have, and also thinking about, that next bond referendum opportunity and what that can look like. I know Mr. Knapp has been in communication with the vendor that we work with in terms of our bond, and kind of getting some scenarios worked up so that we can start having those conversations and be prepared for that next bond referendum.
So if I'm looking at 6.2.1, conduct independent audits of sustainable factors, impacting safety and security. So would this strategic project kind of
Right.
dovetail right in with that?
That is right in there. And
Okay.
we just had a meeting about that, and we made sure that 6.2.1 was in the strategics presentation.
Okay.
But yes, and again, that's just kind of, to your point, goes to, discusses the that ongoing in-progress work that we're having conversations about, pretty much weekly. So Dr. Sinclair has mentioned many times about the school facilities assessment. We got the link working again on the website. So if you go to the website, you can actually go to this link, and if you click it and you open it up, it will take you to all of the building needs assessments. Go back. Can you click that?
So is this under the research and history part
Research,
of the
yes,
bond?
yeah. So if you go to that, this takes you right to the, thank you for doing that. It has, when we had that bond referendum, we went through and we did a school needs assessment for every single building. If you click on Belinda real quick, it kind of gives you an example of what that looks like for each one of our schools. So it has photos, and then it has kind of the age of the building, gives you a summary of that building, kind of where that particular building landed in totality of kind of the needs assessment process. And this really drove the decision of which schools were going to be built, okay? And so, again, there were 11 schools identified for rebuilds. And if you go to the next slide, you'll see those 11 schools that were initially identified and which ones have been built and which ones we are looking at possibly looking to rebuild on the next bond referendum. Nope, you're fine. Yeah, so this right here shows the 11 structures, 11 buildings that were identified that rose to the top of that needs assessment. And so when we are looking at that number all the way over to the right, total out of 1,000, okay, so the lower the number, the more likely you need to have a rebuild. And so right now, if we're looking at this and we get a bond referendum approved in the coming years, we're looking to rebuild Belinda, Santa Fe, Rose Hill, East Antioch, and possibly Brook Ridge, depending on the dollar amount that we receive.
Now, this was the rating in 2016.
Yes.
This was the rating in 2016, and we've done work on various
Updated.
buildings, and so the ratings may well change.
Yeah, that's a great point. So again, this was 2016. Tyler and his team have gone through, and if, let's say you're Brook Ridge and we added, a whole new HVAC system because it had died, right, in the last couple of years. So now that rating will change based on it receiving a whole new HVAC system.
So we've done 5 of these schools that are on the list?
Yeah, so we've done Rushton, Pawnee, Deemer, Tomahawk, Westwood View.
Yeah, I was just going to say, that would be helpful to maybe update,
Pull those out.
pull those out, or highlight them as completed or rebuilt, or however you flag it.
Melissa, have you been in my meetings this week? We have a slide that shows exactly what you said. So yes, yeah, it just makes it cleaner.
So for the most part, you kind of went in order of worst, but like Belinda being the exception.
Yeah,
So why did other schools get jumped? I know it's not an exact science of the score, but.
Yeah, no, that's a good point. Sometimes it has to do with kind of the relocation process and where those schools are and what, if Indian Creek is going to be available, there are some schools we were able to build on-site. So if you have a school that you can build on-site, then you would do that because now you can build 2 schools at once.
Well, if memory serves, there was also consideration given for how many projects within each high school attendance area were done.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah,
Okay.
they're, again, in terms of equity and ensuring that we touch all 5 feeder patterns, certainly was taken into consideration.
Other, I'm sure, demographic considerations, there was a study done of the census projections, so I know there was a lot behind the
Yeah.
decisions to prioritize certain projects over others in that process.
Yeah.
There's a great graphic on the website of the bond project overview that has projects by feeder pattern. So it really can lay it out what's being done in all of the feeder patterns.
Yeah, and that's the point of a bond, right? I mean, you want to make sure that, an entire school district, every part of your district is being touched, and that's the goal, right? That every part of our 5 feeder patterns has something going on, some improvements.
So was there and you might have said this, sorry, is there been an updated inspection since 2016 or process of this, or is
Yeah.
it about to happen?
Yeah, so both. So
Okay.
there's been some ongoing updating of these as work has been done in some of these schools to change some of those numbers.
Exactly.
But then again, if there's a new bond referendum, we'll go through a more thorough process of a needs assessment.
Gotcha.
Is that my last slide? Look at what? All right. So, any questions? We can turn it back over to Dr. Sinclair, or?
I really hate to ask this next question because it's another one, it's like creating more work for our administration, so.
That's what we do.
I don't want to,
fine.
put that out there, but what I love, there's so much information on this bond work that we're doing, and I think it really helps kind of inform our community about how we're being good stewards of that opportunity that they voted in for us as we maybe think about a next bond. Is there value in putting anything up in similar to, almost parallel to that, around the use of the capital outlay dollars? Or are we just creating more work that people aren't going to be looking at, or, I don't know. I mean, I just think about the work that's being done through the capital outlay and stressing the importance of it if people are paying attention to property taxes, how those dollars are used in those cycle projects. And so, I mean,
it's not a bad idea.
nothing that has to be done immediately, but if there's kind of high-level things that doesn't lock us into,
Sure.
kind of that balance between providing information.
Yeah, and again, Dr. Sinclair, to your point, I think it goes to kind of what we are always wanting to do, and it's tell our own story. And I think these upgrades and these security enhancements kind of tells our story of improvements throughout the school district. We can definitely have that conversation and look at implementing that.
Yeah. We certainly have a responsibility to be transparent with our constituents and how we're using tax dollars. I like that idea, actually. I'm guessing we have a running list, looking over at Russ a little bit, but to put that forward-facing makes some sense, for sure.
Yeah.
All right, to do.
Yes. I'm sorry. Okay, do we have, I think this, we also, we're going to look for future calendar dates. I'm not sure if we're there yet or have.
Card. Do you have them?
Think.
Huh?
Let me think in my head.
I think you put a placeholder for us, didn't you?
I did.
All right.
So if we need to still lock those down from an administrative perspective,
Yes.
but just so you all know, can I just get a thumbs up or thumbs down? We want to stick with the Thursday, 4 to 5:30, 4 times a year, that kind of time frame. Does that work okay for folks?
All right.
All right, and so part of it is trying to find kind of times that make sense logically, content-wise, as we're working forward, and so.
That generally works for me, except I can't do the second Thursday of the month.
Oh, okay,
So, but
okay.
otherwise, the date and times are generally fine.
If we can make that work. Not the second
All right,
Thursday.
so these are tentative, but go ahead and share them. February 20th. April 10th. And June 5th. Not going to work for you? All right. The June 5th one doesn't work for you? That's okay. It's all right. I know. We need to hear. Listen.
See, I couldn't do the April 10th
I can't,
probably.
because the second, yeah, the second. Anybody else have any conflicts?
I'm out for February 20th.
Out for February 20th, okay.
So maybe Thursday at 4 isn't the best choice. I don't know.
Why don't we leave those as tentative? We'll go back, have some more conversation, and
Okay. And can we
maybe-
add a fourth one for 2025? Did I get 3?
Yeah, I thought. so-
Yeah, moving into the next calendar year.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
so it's
next
kinda
year.
off, 'cause
So
we've-
back in August, so another one, we're looking for another one in August?
Oh, we can wait. I know it's kind of goofy. We started doing them like by the calendar year rather than the school year. But we
Yeah.
don't have to, you know?
Okay.
It makes more sense to just stick within the school year.
Let's stick within the school year, and then I think maybe the last one, we can set.
Start
Yeah,
again?
Yeah, start again.
Okay. That's great. All right. If we can end a little early and everyone can reclaim 30 minutes in their day, if there's nothing else any other concerns or issues. I believe Mr. Knapp will be taking that kind of draft document around the property tax and working all that magical information, and then I don't know if we need a plain language version for some community feedback. You know, you do a great job of that, but anyways, so that will be coming back to all of us. But that was a really good conversation. All right. Okay, meeting adjourned. Thanks, everybody.
All right, thank you.